Hey, good morning, everybody. It's 11 o'clock, and I would definitely like to start the session right at 11 o'clock, as stated earlier. It's something, a principle that we would like to follow on our platform, that we start at the right time. And that's one of the biggest requests that we have been making to all the members of the WeLearn community. I formally welcome all of you, and wherever you are from, and today, this time, probably there are a few people from Middle East also. Some of my colleagues from Middle East also have joined. That is what I gather from the email that I have received early in the morning. Let me wish all of you namaste, vanakkam, sat sri akal. Very, very warm welcome to all of you. I look forward for this session. And for the last 1 month, we have been talking with the speaker of the session, and we have done a lot of planning as we are going to do, as you're going to see today early in the morning as the session flows in. Let me first, before I introduce the speaker formally, let me briefly give you an overview of who we are for some of the men who are new to this platform. And let me also introduce myself. We are a Virtuoskill learning academy, and this is a platform which we have created called WeLearn. And this WeLearn is an academy, online learning academy, that we have created as a part of Virtuoskill, the digital learning platform that offers certification program for mortgage professionals to start with. But over the period of time, we are going to cover the entire financial service spectrum, and beyond financial services, we are also getting into the emerging sectors of the economy and offer formal certifications that can help people to grow up and be ready for the future skills that's happening. We have had multiple webinars, and and today, in the month of from the month of January 2023, we have been sticking to our position, saying that we'll have minimum one webinar every month, if not more. At least one webinar should be happening. And these are some of the webinar sessions that you can see on the screen that we have done. So let me first share my presentations. So these are some of the sessions that we had in the past, right from the sales, on the sales side, on the business side, on the risk management side, and some of the softer skills in terms of how do you bring focus to yourself in your life. So multiple segments have been going on. As we go ahead during the year, we are expecting more sessions to come on the legal, technical, collections, and then also the softer skill side as to how do you perform as a great professional in the industry. Let me formally give my introduction. My name is Kalyan Raman, and I have been in the industry for more than 3 decades, having worked with multiple housing finance companies, right from Group, which is now part of the Bandhan Bank, and then I worked in ICICI Bank, and then moved on to Middle East. And now, since 2010, I'm a co-founder, CEO of Virtuoskill, which is a digital learning platform, and we work with multiple housing finance companies and banks. These are some of our clients that we have worked almost more than 35, 40 companies that we have worked. And you can always go to our website and see all the work that we have done. And we offer basically on our platform primarily basic services that in terms of certification program that we provide to our clients, as well as even to the college students. We are in the process of this year taking up the initiative of how do we certify them and make them available as a skilled manpower for the industry. We also do a development of customized content for a lot of housing finance company and banks. We have an assessment platform where we do a lot of assessments of people. We do online, offline training programs. We do risk management consulting and multiple other things that we have. Today, as we speak, we have completed 250 workshops in the last 10 years. We have touched more than 5,000 learners and probably 1 lakh man days of training. In our digital platform, which launched in only 2020, just before COVID, I'm very happy to say that we have more than 4,000 learners on the platform who are going through the certification programs. And all these learners put together have almost completed 23 lakh minutes of learning on the digital platform. That's a great beginning. And I believe digital learning is the future. And whether you like it or not, I think slowly everybody has to move into the digital learning platform. And probably that gives also a lot of advantage in terms of how you learn and where you learn, when you learn, and those things keeps happening. One of the big commitment we have on our platform is that how do we become your lifelong friend? And learning has to keep on happening. And we believe that learn, skill, and grow, and that's how you need to go about doing it. This platform, primarily, we would like, while we keep sending mailers to all our captains of the industry. Some of you may have received the mails from your colleagues, your seniors, your peer group, or or from the HR development teams. I'm sure about it. But you can also come and join us. And one of the big things that this platform was primarily meant for the learners who have got registered on a platform. Education. But then as time progressed, we said that this platform should also be made available to professionals who are in industry, so that this becomes a larger platform community where we can exchange information. This is on our platform. We are on the mission, with a big mission to make available learning possible for everybody. I would recommend all of you to go to Google Play Store, and my colleague, she would actually put in the chat right away our link to the Google Play Store, where you can download our app. Downloading the app, if you create your user ID, password with your mobile number, there is no payments to be done. You just can download. There are a lot of free courses available. A lot of the webinars that has been conducted over here, you can have access to all those webinars on our Play Store. And even as we go ahead, we are going to make a lot of other courses free. And today, I'm going to announce one of the big, positive thing for you as to what is going to happen in the coming months. On our platform, as we speak, as the announcement is going to come at the end of the program, I would request all of you to wait till the end of the program after the question and answer session to know what is the announcements. This is a small introduction. I just thought I'll talk to you later, but I just wanted to tell you that we have started a training program for training graduates right from the colleges, and they'll go through a program of 25 hours of our certification program plus 8 hours of classroom training, and we are seeing the possibility of placing them in organizations, whether in the role of sales, credit, operations, collections, but largely the roles are available in sales, and that's why we are trying to move in that direction. Let me now start off and introduce the whole discussion and introduce our speaker of the day. And I'm very happy to tell about Mr. Raja Shambhu, who's a good colleague of mine, and he comes with a very, very different experience and background. And it's a pleasure to have met him almost a decade back, though we have worked together in the same bank for long, but we started interacting almost a decade back. And I must tell you, first day when I met him, his smile has been so infectious that I said, hey, this is a gentleman I should be interacting all my life. And it was like, the first time I said, no, this is a great gentleman. We need to work with him. Let me give a brief introduction of Mr. Raja. Raja is a civil engineer by qualification, but he also comes with a beautiful combination with engineering and master in economics. That's a beautiful combination, which I have not seen much of the civil engineers having it. So, Raja, that's a great combination. I really would like to have an interview with you to understand what made you to get into doing engineering and then get into economics. That's a great combination. Probably the new education policy talks about it. Probably you practiced it almost 30 years back in your own personal life. Raja has come also, is that he actually started his career with PNB Housing Finance Company, and then moved on to ICICI Bank, and then moved on to India Bulls. And all these roles, I must tell you, all of you, that he was a credit officer, credit manager, credit head. Multiple roles he has played in the risk management and also in the business roles. Having completed, all his roles in professional life, he started off, with the starting up his own consulting business, where today his company, Creative PropTech, is an organization which actually serves a lot of people. A lot of people in this platform who are there would know him and his company. He is associated with the multiple housing finance company and banks where they do valuation for you. Probably you would have actually met him, or you would have attended one of his training programs that he conducts in multiple organizations as a part of his relationships. Raja is also a fellow of the Institute of Valuers India and member of Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors of UK. He's a chartered engineer. He is also a registered government valuer. and I think I can keep going on talking about him. And as we go ahead, we are going to see more about our relationship with him. With that, I would like to, formally tell, Raja, that I'll hand over to you so that we can start off the session, because everyone is waiting for your session to start off, and we should go ahead. Over to you, Raja, and I have handed over the sharing screen to you.
Thank you, Kalyan. You're so modest. So talking about me for a long time, and definitely it was a pleasure meeting you also around 10 years back in your office. And I wish you all the best for your entrepreneurship journey and what all initiative you are taking for mortgage business. Actually, there was a space, and you rightly pitched in yourself, and I'm sure you must be getting very good response. So it's good. And also thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to again meet my several colleagues. I can see almost 128. Definitely, I must be knowing around more than 100. So they also know me, and definitely because I have not left the mortgage business, I am completely associated, talking every day, one another, on different aspect as well. So definitely I moved back to valuation, but I keep on getting inquiry about risk management, different queries, some legal aspect and other things. So let's start the session, because housing, affordable housing has become a very popular terms, and nowadays in every 10-15 days one new HFCs are coming in the market, and everyone is main focus is on affordable housing itself. So definitely this is a good topic to understand. So what I have planned, I am not just directly jumping to the technical. I will just try to understand what is affordable housing, how it can be defined, what are the challenges we are facing in discussion, how it is different, and then gradually we will go to technical and then more on the question answer session, some discussion aspect and other things. So good morning everyone. So let's start the session. So we'll start with first with how to define affordable housing. That is the biggest challenge. So first we need to understand what is affordable housing, whether it is defined or not, or it is defined separately by every individual. Before that, how it has been defined, let's go for the different thought process on which it can be defined, or mostly it is being defined. So first, which is very much in, we all are from mortgage background. Every time we go for FOIR calculation. So one method is very much linked to that normally it is suggested that if the FOIR is less than 30% towards the housing loan EMI, so we consider that is affordable. So if it goes more than 30%, then it is, it is stretched. So we cannot say it is affordable, it will be a little bit stretched. Then the another methodology is being used is median multiplier. This is very much popular outside India as well, to just find the property price, how it is matching with the expectations or with matching with the income of the population. So what they do, they find the median household prices, and similarly they also find the median household income. And if they consider if it is less than 3, then primarily we can say that particular segment of house or the price are unaffordable house. But now the question is, in India, suppose even we take a median household, I will tell you some interesting data. The average income of an Indian is just 22,000 per month. So if we consider 22 to 23,000 per month average, median may be different because the median will be little higher than the average. So even if we consider like one data is saying 23,000 average, then another data is saying that even the lowest income group is having 50,000 income per month. And you will be surprised to know that 40% of the families of complete population is between 15,000 to 35,000 only. So 40% of our Indian population is within 15,000 to 35,000 range. So definitely our median will come in between 15,000 to 35. So suppose even we consider, just for the understanding purpose, it is around 30,000. In the recent survey done by Deloitte, and they made the data analysis, and as per them, the median salary was around 25,000. So even we consider 30,000 and per annum income is 3.6, and if we go for 3-time multiplier, then it is almost 10 lakh rupees. So based on the median multiplier indicator, if all the houses up to 10 lakhs can be only said affordable. So that is the major challenge, because see, for getting a house of 10 lakh rupees in India, we need so much support from the government body or the other regulators on the availability of land, availability of cheaper construction material, some new techniques to construct the main houses. See, several experiments have been done in Kerala. We have come several reports there. They are making houses in between 7 lakh to 10 lakh, but not widely available. So this is another method, median multiplier. Only problem is in median multiplier, they are not considering anything about the availability of fund or the cost of fund for the housing loan. So this is the one drawback which I can see. And third is, again, which we are using in our mortgage business, that is residual income. Suppose a person having income of 5 lakh rupees, so then we cannot go for the FR of 30%. We can go for FR 60%, 70% also. What is the thought process we are using? We are using that here sufficient residual income is other expenditure, right? So residual income is basically to find the maximum loan he can get for the home purpose or some other purpose. But since we are focused for home loan here, so we have to concentrate on home. So these are the primarily three methodology being used to define a affordable housing. But again, based on the same thought process, what the government body or other regulator has defined. Just have a look. RBI has not defined anything specifically as an affordable housing, but they have defined as a priority sector lending. So they give focus on PSL, and as per them, it is 40 lakhs for metro, 30 lakhs for other cities. They keep on revising. This is the latest data which I got. Then the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, they have made a separate definition. Then there is a GST, because see, the builder basically get the benefit on GST reduction in the rates so that they can pass on to the customer. So GST defined, which is very much important and critical, is 45 lakhs. And what they have done, they have kept the same value for both metro as well as non-metro. Only thing is they have made the difference in the area of the unit. For metro, 60 meters, and for non-metro, 90 meters up to, right? So these are the different thought process of affordable housing currently in India, so that you can got some idea that how the other body has defined affordable housing and how it can be defined. If someone have your opinion, that how you can take it forward, right? So just to have your thought process also, that how you wish to define, we can go for one poll. Can we have a poll so that team will get interacted what they are thinking?
Sure, we are doing it. So here goes the poll. I would request you to go and click based on what Raja just explained. In your view, what do you think is the method to define affordable housing? You can go and click on it, and we will take one more minute to review as to what you think. And very interesting, I see a lot of people constantly, the numbers are going up and down, but looks like expenditure method seems to be one of the big one coming out, Raja, as you can see. Oh no, priority sector lending norms defined by RBI seems to be topping now. There is again changed, so constantly we are looking at it. I request you, all of you, to complete very much, and I'm going to count 10, and next count of 10 we will stop it and we'll show the results. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let me end the poll over here, and let me share the results, Raja, here. And here you go, the results have come. So Raja, you can see the results for yourself. So priority sector lending norms defined by RBI, 46% of people feel that that's the best way. And the expenditure method seems to be the other big one, whereas the median multiplier and residual income approach seems to be single digit and double digit, closer to single digit figures. Over to you.
This result is the replica of what Deloitte has also got.
Okay.
As per their feedback survey also, the maximum people felt that the priority sector lending norms is more appropriate and more scientific. By the way, at least we can push on the affordable housing. Only problem which we all are facing, those who are in affordable housing, that government is not coming out with some different policies for affordable housing. Like, see, when we say we have to give house to everyone, we need to understand the segment we are talking. As I have just explained you, the 40% of the population is within 50,000 of their income, within 35,000 of their income. And then even their income is not that structured or regular. So when we are going for definition of NPA, we are not giving any benefit to that particular segment. Right? So we should have some methodology that at least you give some extra time for recognition of NPAs so that they can have more focus, or even there's some additional benefit. They have given additional benefit for the risk-weighted ratio, but there said have to be some more leeway we require in affordable housing to support especially the affordable housing finance company. So good. So at least team has got the pulse of affordable housing. It is in the sync with all other expert thinking about affordable housing definition. So now, after understanding the affordable housing, let's understand our standing of housing loan penetration in India. The graph is self-explanatory. We have huge potential in South Asia, Asian markets, South Africa. We are nowhere. We are just 11%. And even you will be surprised to know that even 1% we have increased in last 23 years. In 1990 it was 10%, and just we have reached to 11%. So even reaching for 1%, we took so much time. So there is huge potential in this, and even this 1%, why we able to achieve it, because in last 10 years there was so much trust on housing finance, and because of government policy of 2014 for housing for all. So still there are scope for affordable housing and housing finance company, and we have long way to go. Currently, just to have an idea, the quantum of housing loan market, I will just give you another slide. Currently in 2022, total size of loan asset is 31 trillion, means 31 lakhs crore. It's a huge figure. So if you consider that way, not directly, but even as a layman, so the 1% will come around 3 lakh crore. So it's a huge number. If we able to convert it in our own portfolio, and if we compare with the ticket size, it's a huge number. Only thing is how we have to plan, how the cost of fund will be managed, how the source of fund will be managed, and what kind of support government body will provide to us. So we all related to affordable housing should feel very, very confident that there is a huge market in India and the data is in front of you. Right? So moving to the next idea. So that was the data of housing finance. Now we go for affordable. You just see by volume, by number of cases, we are almost 82%, means affordable housing is 82% by number of cases to complete the total prime housing segment or the total housing segment. So the prime housing is just 18% and the affordable housing is 82%. Even by number, by volume, by value, it is 45%. So you can say almost we are 50-50 with the prime housing and with a huge number difference. But there will be definitely, since there is a more number of cases, so then some other thought must be also coming to you, the challenges related to this affordable housing. The major issue is the operational cost. Whenever we compare with housing finance, prime housing and affordable housing, the number you can see like 82% with 45% of the value. So the ticket size is low. So our effort will be more. Secondly, such customer, those who are in affordable housing finance, they are not that techno savvy. So in almost in all the cases, you have to meet the client. You have to meet them for even for the credit purpose, since they are new to credit, you have to meet, you have to understand the repayment capacity. Mostly you could not able to derive their repayment capacity as per the vanilla product, because you will not find the return itself. So you have to come up with surrogate product, need to define some good surrogate product which is scientific, logical, or depending on the demographic. It is very important in affordable housing, any standard policy which is being made may not be applicable to every location. So the local team inputs are very, very important. And this affordable housing income assessment is very, very subjective. So again, and whenever the subjectivity will come, as you can understand, subjectivity creates the deviation in the process. Multiple deviations, multiple thought process, not a standard process. So there will be different challenges. Person to person portfolio may vary. In one person, they are very systematic, process oriented, so their portfolio quality may be different. And some other person is not that much systematic, their portfolio quality may be a little different. So these are the challenges which you can see. Like low salary income, not working in very formal structure, new to credit, especially the location is outside your municipal limit. The builders which you will deal are new to that market, they are not very planned, their feasibility study is not proper. And then because of this operation and all, the lender or the person who are providing fund to us, the institution providing fund to us, they're also cautious, they understand. So the cost of fund is higher to us. Definitely, because of that potential which we have shown in the earlier graph, there is huge demand, so we are able to have better yield as well. Okay? So these are the plus points, and the major negative point is recovery, because in recovery you have to put more effort, and specifically many times it happens then if something goes little bad, then you will not able to recover unless until you have a plan to go for the auction. So that is a very tedious process. And then the social angle will come because they are the affordable segment, then political intervention will come, the government will not support you. So these are things will come whenever it will go to the collection. So overall, management means the credit appraisal, technical evaluation, your role assessment of the portfolio is very, very important. So these are the difference which I have just highlighted so that it comes in your mind. So whenever we will have a question answer session, you will keep these all factors in your mind. Now, go for the credit. Many times the sales team feel that is any role of credit in affordable housing, because everything is debated. What you will do in credit? Many times credit person call me, sir, इसमें credit करना क्या है? There is nothing called credit. Stable, there is many times there is no stable record. Bank statement, they are not very bank savvy. They are making very less transaction in the bank. Unstructured cash income, ITR, very seldom you will find the income tax return and all. So these are the challenges, how you will handle it. So we'll go one by one. First, we'll go for the character, how to define the character. The 5 C's, first is the character. Previously, before 10-15 years, when me, Kalyan were working, that point of time, there was no civil as such. We used to meet customer, every customer we were meeting personally and trying to understand their bank statement if something is there. But there was no civil. We used to have our own dedupe match from credit card statement. ICICI were providing us some help. So there was no civil as such. So we are going to that particular level where we have to meet every customer, and then we have to find their, financial discipline, how financially they are disciplined, what is their financial character. So now we need to understand whether for the loan of 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, every customer you are meeting, so the cost of fund, the cost of your effort of your credit manager, how you have to manage, and specifically the person is staying little far from your office, because normally you take an office at the place where all the infrastructure is there and they are staying little far. So there is effort in to understand the character of the customer. Then second, we'll go for the capacity. Vanilla product, very popular, but here you don't have the ITR, you don't have the proper salary slip, people are getting in cash, some part in cash, some in bank statement. Then there is no balance sheet kind of thing, people are not that disciplined, even they are earning, they are not that disciplined, but we have to fund because we have selected the segment purposely, right? So here also we need to define some surrogate product, and you can see different banks has made a different product like liquid income proof, where we make our own assessment of income and then give the loan. Some institution has set policy to how much electricity bill they are paying, right? Somewhere we assess how many machinery they have put or how much cash they are getting based on our own assessment. So then this way we are trying to find the capacity. And the third, which is very, very challenging and must be everyone is facing, that is margin contribution. I am sure all the technical person in that group must be understanding, see, this is the gap, because to cover the margin, we are giving 100% loan to the customer. Everyone will agree that valuation is correct, but valuation badhana hai because loan nahi baith raha, sir. So how to handle this situation, because we are diluting the capital itself. So the margin contribution is so critical, and in affordable housing, you will face major issue in providing the margin contribution. I'm not talking about the B or C city where the borrower has their own land and we are just giving to the construction. There we have the margin. There the loan are very, very safe. And good part is that in B and C city where the person is having their own land and we are giving for the construction, that are the safest loan. When we are coming to metro cities, outskirt area, like if we are in Mumbai, then going for Ambernath, Palghar, beyond Vasai, Panvel, Roha, and that particular area, you will find the affordable housing, and builders are giving the cost sheet, which is almost 120%, 130%, just to cover the margin itself. So this is the third very critical point, which we need a critical analysis by the credit manager. And then the collateral, then it will come the legal issue, because in that particular area where the person is having an own land, the parental land, you will not get any unique document. You will get that document which can be multiple copies can be created. So you can't go for equitable mortgage. You have to specifically go for registered mortgage kind of thing. That is again a tedious process. It is not a streamline in India. Every state has a different rule, different stamp duty. So you need to understand every state procedure and draft. You have to define P&D for every state, every location, understand the dynamics of registrar, sub-registrar, how they register, what is the timing. So accordingly, you have to plan everything. And then the conditions like you can go for the end use verification, you are disbursing in stages, and when you are giving the stages, whether you have to verify what stage they have completed, fund is utilized for the construction or not, the end use is properly verified or not. There may be some condition of PSD document, like some NOCs may be required later on. So such kind of conditions we have to follow. So these 5 C's of credit is very, very critical, and everyone has to go specifically, minutely make their own policies for affordable housing so that you can cover all these 5. So it might have become a little boring for everyone because every day they are facing the same. So Kalyan, we can go for another poll to understand what are the maximum challenges our team members are facing when they are going for this 5C.
I've already displayed the poll, and I think the poll is going through. I would request all of you to go and click on the poll, and moment you complete it, I'd very happy to see that. I think still people are clicking on the different options. Raja, give me another.
I can see it's a nicely moving graph.
Right. Great. So I think we are moving towards more people are saying is character and capacity. That's how people are talking about it. Okay, let me take the last 10 seconds and I call out, and at the 10th number, I'll we'll close it. Okay. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So let me close the session and share the results to all of you. And here you go. And here are the results. Raja, you can take it forward.
Good. So this graph must have given a good relief to all the technical managers. So the prime responsibility or prime area is the character and the capacity. And even we all say that if the credit appraisal is done properly, the default will be low. So this group at least agree on this. So these are the most challenging and important factor where we need to work. So regarding capacity, definitely a smart surrogate product can help us. Regarding characters, meeting customer in affordable housing is mandatory, and without meeting can't be helped. And we can take another like FI agency feedback, some good FI agency we require, who can give some better knowledge about their references, some feedback. Because see, that data is very, very important, because whenever the credit manager visit to a person, it is they are completely prepared. And just for 15-20 minutes, you not able to assess everything, but if some information or neighbor reference we can get, and which is not practically possible for credit manager, definitely we can get it from the FI agency, it will be good. So nice. So we all understand that the first two is very, very critical, and that is most challenging. And then third is the collateral. And condition capital, fine, that is the lowest priority, but three things is very important: character, capacity, and collateral. So okay, so we'll move to next, covering now the collateral aspect, which is the main differentiator in affordable housing. So we'll define how it is so important. So as we have understood that in regarding character, definitely we find some way. Capacity is the challenging, and we have almost most of the deviations available in affordable housing to assess their repayment capacity. So primarily in affordable housing, complete ownership on the collateral. So we cannot think that we are deviating on every front. Like we are deviating on income front as well. We don't have even their financial background, and we are also deviating on the collateral. So when we understand this, these are the five most important issues, or you can say the points which we face every day in almost all the affordable cases. Like some or other documents are missing in title documents, some clarity is not there that how to identify that particular property. Marketability is the major issue, because how it happens, you will when we'll go for one or two case study, you will understand marketability, why it is a concern, because it is not a thickly populated area, it is on the outskirts, and many places if it is thickly populated, then it is very unstructured. So the legality is a major challenge, and when it is not densely populated, then there is no takers for that property. Secondly, whenever there is a default of property, another stigma will come. So we need to understand, whenever we are selecting the segment or the locality, we have to consider all the aspects, whether we have a complete knowledge of that area. See, I'm telling you the documentation requirement can be anything, but our understanding of that particular area is very, very important. And if we have defined that particular thing in our procedure and draft or the document which we have prepared for the location, what we are doing, we have seen many banks document. We are empaneled with more than 100 institutions. And when we meet people, we meet the credit managers, we meet the technical, we come to know there is no policy as such. And regarding this policy aspect, I am telling you, we've been to me, Kalyan, in the ICICI Bank. And when I moved from PNB Housing to ICICI Bank, I was so surprised. Even the full stop comma was defined in ICICI Bank. Everything was defined. There is nothing called subjectivity. So only subjectivity we have been given on the personal discussion. So see, that crisp policy we require, and that is not for the central level. We require it for each and every locations, state-wise, so that we can have a particular pulse of that area, and then we can proceed, and then we will do it very good. What happened if some policies of New Delhi, if we try to implement in Pune, it will not work. So we need to understand how the title is defined, what are the specific document is there, what kind of deviation can be taken, what is critical, what is non-critical. We need to understand. We cannot just going for the non-critical document, wasting our 3 days time. It is going out of that, and by the time the other institution will fund it, the customer. So we need to understand the TAT as well. And this is the major pain area of the sales team also, that with great difficulty, we are getting the cases, but you people are just asking the document, that case get dissolved from some other institution. So when we are talking about the policies, it is not just a stringent rule about the portfolio making, but also how efficiently we are working. How much credit managers are on the front and they are understanding this, all the aspect, and they are taking the decisions. Like in legal and technical, we'll cover later on. And the another major challenge is lack of market information, like comparables. Hardly get any comparables. That is the major challenge, especially in rural area, where we get the comparables. There is no 99 acres magic brick, there is no total available. And even in the registration, the government redirection rates are so low that it won't give any value addition as such. Definitely, it can be one of the reference points, but it is not giving any specific information to us. So these are the basic challenges we can see. And another thing which here only I would like to cover, what we will do about NDMA, National Disasters Management. That policy is nowhere in affordable. So what will happen when a small earthquake will come? In all this affordable housing, the buildings being made is not compliant. We don't have any data because it is not approved. So there is no structural engineer involved. Construction quality is not getting monitored. So what kind of quality of construction getting made? We are not aware about this. We are just selecting the customer, funding them without checking all the aspects. And as such, NDMA guideline is given by NHB, and they have been told to follow this strictly. But I don't think we are able to prepare or able to accept this fact. Because see, what we are doing, we are requesting our technical managers. See, most of the affordable housing have their own technical manager, right? Hardly anyone is taking services from outside agency. And if your technical managers is doing this case, how they will certify about the NDMA compliant, whether the building is made structurally sound or not. Secondly, even if you're taking the valuers on the panel, how they will find, because see, it is altogether different segment. We need a structural report. And when the property is approved, in the guideline itself, the structural report has to be submitted. So you don't have to go additionally for any structural report. The problem is when the property is not approved. So this is the challenge we need to understand, that how we will take it forward. So now we will talk about our differentiator, how we have to differentiate our portfolio, that is technical. So you can see that the valuer has to be James Bond kind of thing, hand glass in the hand, and he has to be so carefully because everything is lying on him only. Because credit manager has already done their assessment, they have checked their eligibility with the limited information, So everything is now falling on the valuers. So the valuer should be Superman. Without Superman, how he will do everything? Because he has to do everything, He has to understand the legal as well. He has to understand the value. He has to understand the deviation. He has to understand the fraudulent activity. Everything he has to only do. So we have to find Superman. So Kalyan, you have to also make some plan for Superman training, because this is most critical, right? To just make it simple, when I started my valuation, you can say this thought process that there is a space of valuation, and from credit I have just within this 5C I have selected 1C of collateral, and I started this practice. I said there is a space, but how to make it simple? So I have defined this complete valuation activity in 4 parts, and very simple to remember. Even when I was in credit, so I used to make some small 4-5 terminology in credit, and I used to get it pasted on the file left side. So I used to tell my credit manager, so at least you verify this 5 points before sending file to me, so that at least I have the critical information handy. So if we all understand this 4 point in valuation, I am telling you, you will not make any mistakes. Otherwise, what happens nowadays? See, sales team has just requirement of the value. They don't bother about the identification, understanding, approvals. But as a technical manager, you should not get involved in other verticals activity or their priorities. You have to be focused on your priorities. What are your priorities? So these 4 things you just remember: IUAE. So you remember that you have to go to Dubai. So you will remember IUAE, right? So first start with identification. This is most critical, and everything starts from identification. You are going to the site, there is no numbering, no identification, no supporting document by which you can identify that property. Please highlight, stop there, find some way. Because see, when you are giving a loan, person is coming to pick you. He will pick you in car itself. He will offer you juice also. But when there will be default, you have to go there alone. No one will be there, and you will not able to identify that property. So identification is very, very critical. And everything starts from here only. If you find there is a difference in floor level, numbering pattern is different, there is no uniformity in number, please wait there. Don't be in hurry. Try to understand how I can identify. Definitely person will be there. It is not that easy. You can't be rude to your customer. You have to be very gentle man there, but you have to be very cautious, smart. You have to just find the way how I can identify this is that particular property which I have come here to visit. Right? So this is very, very important, identification. You put your time, find the way out, or understand the locality, that in this particular locality, what are the pattern of numbering, how we have to identify. Secondly, the maximum fraud I have seen in my 30 years of career is all related to identification. We have, while doing loan, we have identified the property at first floor, but when we go, while the collection team visited, we said, the property is on second floor, or property is on ground floor, or property does not exist itself. They say it was a stilt area, the wrong building was made, and that particular has been given. Unless until we have some strong supporting documents, we need to understand how it has been identified, especially when in urban area, you must be giving loan to big projects, right? So there will be different wings, A, B, C, D. See, there is no standard rule that you have to go from left to right from A, B, C, D, or from right to left to A, B, C, D, or from center to left or right. So how you will identify which one is wing is the A, which one is B, because it is under construction. Please insist for the builder, please give me the layout where the A, B, C, D is written. They will say, why you're asking this document, other banks is giving the loan. See, these all the tactics, but you have to be very polite, very, very polite, but very firm. Sir, these documents are required. I have seen many cases where the multiple funding has done because initially they have shown as a wing A, then later on they have converted to wing D, then to C, then to B. Anyway, it has happened to Mumbai, Delhi, every location. So identifications are very, very critical here. So we all have to be very careful that how we can make it logical so that we can identify the property. And we have to also understand that this identification is not for you. This identification must be required in the time of distress when there will be default. But this is very important. Then we go for understanding. What is understanding means? We have to understand what kind of property is this, whether this is an independent house, it is a part of apartment, it is a row house adjoining both the sides, another properties. Sometimes if you are going for SME funding, it is an industrial unit, it is a shop, what kind of property it is. Whether this property is leasehold, this is a freehold, what kind of property. So understanding of property is very, very important. Unless you understand the property properly, you will not able to assess this property. So after identification, the most important is understanding. In identification, you have to just have an address and then you have to identify. When you are going for understanding, you should have some supporting document to understand and validate your thoughts or your observations. Then only you will finally understand the property. Okay? Then later on, after identification and understanding, you have to go for approvals. Okay, I understood the property. This is residential property. This is a multi-story building, second floor, G+ floor structure. So now, what are approvals are there? Whether the approvals in the sync what I have observed or not, or what all approvals are have been deviated. So move to the next part, that is approval. Go for each and document. So like suppose if you go for approvals, like you will see the plan. What all things you will see the plan? You will see in the plan what are the area, right? So whether they have taken approvals, required approvals, the layout is as per the observation. There is a performa A in every plan. Have you seen? Everyone have seen that? There is a performa A. Performa A is a very good indicator. They give you the size of the plot. They will give the what are the FSI, how much it is consumed, everything. So by just reading this, you will come to know whether the property is approved or not. Even if it is fake, you will come to know. So that plan performa is very, very important. But definitely, this is more relevant for the A city, A category cities, even in the outside, but if we go far in the Gram Panchayat area, we won't get that. But at least for the bigger exposure, where the number of cases are very high, it can be helpful, right? So then, after this, all the three things, then you go for the estimation of value. Nowadays, what is happening? We are in so much hurry, so much number of cases, so much pressure. We are just address and value. We are not thinking another two parts. Is it approved? It is not approved. I would like to tell you, estimation of value and legal, it is hand to hand. When technical team asks, say, sir, legal is not clear. Legal to legal dekh lega na, aap value batao na. See, try to understand. Without legality, value can't be derived. A property which is not legal cannot be marketed. It does not have any value. So both are linked. Legal and technical both are very linked. It is hand to hand. Every technical managers, any person, senior person in technical team should meet their advocate regularly. Understand what are things are coming, what are the observations, how it can affect the marketability, what is encumbrance, when the encumbrance is filed, what is lease pendency, who filed the lease pendency, what are these terminology? These are very, very important. You are evaluating a property without understanding their legalities. Will you buy any property which is not legal clear? No, you won't buy. Then how you can value the property? You should know how to read the technical legal document. What are the points is important. Understanding. Secondly, someone from Delhi is transferred to Gujarat. Whether he understands the Gujarati language, the literature, so many things. So it looks very simple, but it is not that simple. So local support, local team member, local insight is very, very important. So guys, so after this understanding, we have to go for estimation of value. Now the biggest challenge, how to estimate the value. For the customer, property is always, so precious. So if your assessment is 50 lakhs, 1.5 se kam to customer ka hoga hi nahi. So that is the biggest challenge. So how to find this? The problem is we need to make our own database strong. Every institution, like if you see the premium institution like ICICI Bank, HFCS, they have a huge database. They keep on comparing the database, what kind of property prices are moving, in which direction they are moving. The bigger values, they have their own application, they have a complete data crunching thought process, they do data analytics and they come out with the data. Even the less data is available, they find what can be the best way to derive the value. Because in many cases, especially in the outskirts, you will not get any market reference. Only you will get the ready reckoner or ASR. And ASR value most of the time does not give any relevance to your estimation. So what is the way out? Create broker network, talk to them, understand them, check the actual transaction happening in the sub-register office. Then only able to find some relation, some correlation to find the value. So hope you all must have understood what are the basic parameters of the valuation and how after understanding these all the thought process, we can create an actual, we can differentiate our portfolio with others. And these are very, very critical things because we are working in the secured funding. We are not going for unsecured funding, we are going for secured funding. So property valuation and the collateral assessment is very, very critical in affordable housing. We can't afford to make affordable housing another STPL. Hope those who are in this industry for more than 15 years, they must be remembering that STPL fiasco. So everyone must have remembered this. We don't have to make this STPL. We have to make a proper, profitable, affordable housing segment. So our valuation part is very, very critical. And especially the housing finance company, those who are going for their in-house technical team, the responsibility is much more higher because when the thing will go bad, everyone will be blamed that you have not taken a third-party validation, we have made our own team. So that is very, very critical. We have to be careful. So when we understood how we have to evaluate, what are our process that I said, IUAE, then within IUAE, when we go for approvals, we need to understand what are the basic methodology of approvals, how the process moves. See, this flow chart is the standard flow chart applicable anywhere in India. Only the nomenclature will change, right? The name will change. Flow will remain same. What will happen in particular one block, some more process will be added on, but the overall flow will same. Like you should have your own document, your title document, then you have to check whether the NA is there or not. If NA is not there, go to ADTP, right? And then if it is there, then get the jurisdiction check, and it comes in which jurisdiction, and then basically based on the jurisdiction, you have to go for the local body authority. If there is some SPA, you have to go to SPA. If it is under Gorton, you have to Gorton. Within Gorton, what has to be done? It is defined for up to 200 square meter. Mostly it is a Sarpanch approval which is working in Gorton. See, don't get confused with Gorton and the Gram Panchayat. We'll explain later on. So according to, if you follow this flow chart, your concept will be very, very clear. And based on this concept, you can make your own procedure and draft for every location. Make the checkpoints after talking to your local valuer or local architect and the lawyer. You can create your own P&D for every branch. Keep it handy with your team so that they can follow the process. They can understand there will be no ambiguity and you can go step by step. Hope this is clear. So we'll move to another slide. So then these are the things which everyone in this group must have come to know. Only I would like to highlight a new document which is very, very important when it comes to affordable housing. Look, any order, mostly everyone is aware. We take it, we try to take it, and it is popular. Then DPD marks. DPD marks is mostly applicable in the within municipal limit, which is critical. I will tell you why it is critical in our case study. Same is related with DP plan, zone certificate, layout plan, building plan, commencement certificate, occupancy certificate. Make aware your local team, especially the sales team. Explain them. These are all the terminologies so that they can get this document in one shot based on the particular type of property. What is happening? Our technical managers are very smart. They are knowledgeable. Credit manager as well, they are super smart. They know everything. But the gap is with the sales team. They are not many times make aware of all this terminology so that they have to go multiple times to the customer to take the document. So if we will make them aware that in this particular locality, these are documents are critical. So they will take the document in one shot itself. Then when it is affordable housing, you must have seen 2-3 documents which is very important is 712 extract, that is Bhulek Pustika in MP, and 712 extract is everywhere. It is very common, and everyone taking that document. And then the another document is Namuna Art. Namuna Art is basically the property tax receipt in the rural area. You know the difference between 712 extract and Namuna Art is 712 extract is basically the detail of the land, and Namuna Art is detail of the built-up area. And in Gotten area, when you will get the Namuna Art, you will not get the 7/12 extract. So the challenge is, even it is a independent house, you can say a row house or bungalow. Row house is very seldom in rural area. Normally it is the independent bungalow kind of structure. So it is a small structure, but independent structure. Since you are not aware what is the actual land area, and the customer may be assessing that you also evaluate the value of the land, it is so challenging for you. Because you don't know what is the area of the land. You are just aware of what is the area of the built-up area of the structure. So that is the problem in Namuna Art, and that is the difference also in 712 and Namuna Art. So you please understand what is the difference in this. Then the another critical document which comes is Chatur Sima. See, the Chatur Sima comes in two ways. One Chatur Sima which is just give you the boundaries of all the four sides, and another Chatur Sima will give you the dimension as well. Look, if you are not getting the dimensions, the length and width, how will you find what is the area? They will just give you the boundary that in the left side Ramesh Kumar, right side Suresh Kumar, the Mahesh Kumar, but you will not know what is the plot layout. So Chatur Sima layout is also important. Then we get from Tehsildar that residence certificate, जिसको रहीवासी प्रमाण पत्र भी कहते हैं. So that gives another proof that he is staying in that particular house, because these all the properties are 99% are the ancestral property where you are not getting any title document. So you have to anyway go for the registered mortgage. So for the third party verification, like in big cities and all, we get NOC from societies or RWA. But here we get these are the documents. So these four documents which I told you, which is more applicable, that is 712 extract, Namuna 8, Chatur Sima, and residence certificate. So this is basically a new document you might have come to know when you have moved from the prime housing to affordable housing. So these are the additional things which we have to take care. So more one side GAN has happened. Now let's have some opinion. So Kalyan sir, your help. So what is the group feel about the reason for NPA or default? So we have studied 5C, we have understood the valuation, legal. So what is the reason?
Okay, I think we are almost there. I would request a few more people to go ahead, and I'll just count 10 and then I'll end the poll and publish the results to you. Okay, here we go. It's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let me end the poll and show the results to you. Results?
I think this result needs to be framed, Kalyan.
Okay.
And framed and to be sent to the CEO of all the HFCs. See, unnecessary, they blame the valuers.
Right.
See, this is the appraiser which everyone is feeling.
Right.
So, but it may be that in our participation, most of us from the valuation background, this is possible that our opinion may be little biased. But so, look, the technical team are more on the ground. So if they are giving this opinion, it means a lot. So this is actually, we also feel, I was in one meeting in RICS, and the same thing has happened that one person, gentlemen are always saying that valuation galat aata hai, that's why the every default are happening. That the gentleman, he was from, I think, CBR or something, he said then better than close down the credit team, take the value and give the loan. Why the credit team is required then? So, it's and very good opinion, and I am with them, so that definitely somewhere we miss the customer paying capacity. It is the biggest factor, and definitely fraud is there, and we have to be cautious that how we can reduce the fraud. And in mortgage, when I joined in long back in PNB Housing in 1996, our MD, Mr. Nambi Rajan, was there. He was a very smart guy. That's why I became CEO of that. He said, Raja, in mortgages, you have to just control the fraud. If you're able to control the fraud, the mortgage book will never go bad. So default can be controlled, default can be managed because the property prices are increasing. But fraud is the only thing which we have to stop. So definitely after appraisal, we as a technical team, credit team, and legal team, we need to take care of fraudulent transactions and how we can manage it. So let's move now for a few case study so that we can understand. I can see that some questions are also coming. Few people have raised their hand, but
we'll do at the end.
We'll do at the end. Otherwise, yes. Otherwise, we'll be distracted.
Yeah.
So this is a very prominent, a very important case. Those who are staying nearby in Mumbai and all, Karam Residency. This was a very hyped product launched by some background of Mr. Vivek Oberoi. And they have given so much advertisement that giving house at 15 lakh, 12 lakh rupees, and huge project was launched. Huge project was launched. They have thought of launching around 5,000 units in that small Shahpur area, which is on Nasik highway. But what happened when you make such a quantum of project, and especially first time developer, so things was not planned. So why I'm giving this example is, we will just understand such kind of project, that what went wrong, why this such project fails, and how as an HFC or affordable housing segment people, what we could have done to prevent our loss. Like almost all the HFC has given loan in this project. Everyone has burned their hand. Someone is 5, someone 10, someone is 100, and the fund is not coming because the project is stopped from last 3 years. So what can have been done to manage such kind of projects funding, and why we should not just blindly follow others? So that we'll discuss. The another example in the similar category is Celtrax. It is at Karjat. Zarbia I have not taken. Zarbia I could not get because yesterday I just prepared. So Celtrax and Karam Residency, Zarbia is another example where they have launched the project with so much advertisement, huge publicity, and later on the project got haywire. They could not able to control, and it has gone bad. So in my opinion, later on in the question answer session we will discuss, in my opinion, such kind of project, when we are funding such kind of project, especially in affordable housing where we have less appetite, even in housing also less appetite of NPAs and all, our appraisal, especially for APFs, has to be very, very meticulously designed. Like we remember the long time when the housing finance company was started in 97, 98, in APF time, we have made some score model and we were giving a good weightage of their past credentials, that how many projects they have completed. But since in affordable, we understand that the known builder or the reputed builder won't come to that particular segment. So we have to go, we don't have any other option but to go with the new builder. But the thing is, how much exposure we should give and at what stage. So that we need to understand and we need to define. What happens, sometimes we say that A bank is giving, so why not B? So AB is giving, so why not C? So we are just going on just following others in spite of making our own assessment. So our own assessment is also important because the money loss will be, it is not important that how much they have lost, it is important that how much you have lost. So this is a clear example of Celtrex and that Karam residency. The feasibility was not appropriate. Both the project was far from the nearest railway station or the connectivity. They have put huge amount to develop the infrastructure. The major fund blocked there in their developing of infrastructure. Especially in Celtrex, what they did, they have given a huge brokerage to the channel partners. And what channel partners started doing, from there, that brokerage amount only they are booking the flats in the anticipation that in future the property price will rise, so we will earn it. So as such, there was no real user in that particular unit. So when we are funding in that particular project, we need to understand that if the 100 flat is booked and 10 we are funding, that what kind of 90 other customers are there. Only 10 and 15 are from other banks, all 60, 70 are just investors. So these are the some trend or these are the some inputs we need to understand. And definitely it is not a simple thing, because in this competitive environment, whenever we talk such kind of gyan, people will not listen us. But these things are should come from the top management, that whenever we are funding such a big project, what all precautions we should know, how much exposure we have to be, we need to plan. Then we'll go for some unauthorized construction where the demolition has taken place. See, these are the building. This is the Padmavati Estate at near Kaseli. The building was demolished, and even this was only one building, that building number 4. So in the other building, the people were staying, and they just got the reprieve because just of the COVID issue. At that point, the COVID was there in the time of second phase. So the High Court has given relief for some time, that okay, fine, since the COVID time, we are giving you some time. But they have not said that the demolition will be not taken place. So it will be demolished later on. Thankfully, even after 2 days, it has not been demolished yet, but still the property cannot be sold. No one can buy, no one can sell. So practically those who have invested in this unit, now they are no way. And even those who are staying, they are in tremendous pressure when they will vacate it. Even the owner, those who are staying there, hardly anyone is paying the installment. They are saying that we have been due, the bank is the party of it. Because see, whenever such thing will happen, no borrower will take the onus on them that what they have done. They will say bank or banker mile hue, bank and developer mile hue the. Please understand, we have seen everywhere. They will always find a way not to pay. So we have to see that we are just going on the rat race, that yes, every bank is funding, so we have to also fund, or we have to be cautious, right? So this is the very good example which can be give a good learning to us. The another one is in Kalyan, their building was demolished completely, and by picture also you can see the area is unapproved kind of locality where the building was made without approvals. But sometimes some district magistrate will come, they take a coursive action, they demolish the building. We don't know which building will take our turn, means which building have our funding. So these are the risky proposition when we are diluting or deviating the documents of approval. So many times we get a call from the new HFC कि demolition होता है क्या? Then we used to send such kind of pictures to them. कि demolition होता है. Now you have to see how much risk you have. So this is important. See here also the notice is not directly given, but these are all in the locality that anytime some notice will come and people have to make to vacate them. And there is huge population in this area where the demolition risk is there near Kalyan. Then there is another area that we call Balkumpada. It is in Thane. There are a few questions also related to this. Someone has asked that in Gauteng area, why the value is less than the other approved area nearby only, and many times the value is less than the even stamp duty ready reckoner rate. So, team, we need to understand the property, which I told you. You first understand the property. We cannot value the same cost of the value of the property which is in the approved area and which is in the Gauteng area, because in Gauteng area the road is narrow, things are not approved, fire brigade vehicle cannot move, you cannot park your car. So how can we give the same value? You won't get the same value. Secondly, if you try to compare with a ready reckoner, please understand, when you are getting a market value three times, 4 times than the ready reckoner, that time you don't compare with ready reckoner, then you are accepting it. Only you are have a concern when the value is less than the ready reckoner rate. See, ready reckoner rate is made of the area, it is not of the unit specific. They are just making a small patches to get the government stamp duty. So every time if you start comparing with this, you will get some different kind of result which will not make any value addition to your thought process. Definitely it can be one of the input, but you cannot compare it with some approved area. So these are the important things which we need to understand. So in this area, we have observed, like when you go to Gauteng area, you will understand the narrow load, overall congested area. And secondly, when you visit the engineer, they should take the photograph from all the sides so that when you're in the office, you can understand and you can judge what property is. While it will help you in understanding the property, right? There are two-way entry, both are very congested. There was numbering, there was mismanaged numbering, there is no sequence of numbering. Even on second floor, the numbering is from 3 number, ground floor, there is numbering from 1 number. So you cannot understand which floor it is, what is the region of numbering, numbers got abruptly closed. So these are very important. Society board was very messy, so you can't figure out who is the owner of which unit, right? G+7 building, but there is no car parking space. There is no car parking. So such kind of things are important to understand that there is something wrong, because see, you cannot see a approved building where G+7 structure is there and there is no car parking. So these are some triggers. So when you are making a visit, you need to be careful, you need to understand the locality while taking the visit. These are the few pictures which I have sent. And most unfortunate part is you will get the document also approved, but which is a fraudulent one. Such kind of document you will get. It is just an example. But when you will go to verify to the municipal corporation, they will not confirm these documents, neither they will deny, because see, everything is made a setup kind of thing. So only way is you have to just go for the RTI, wait for months, and then you will get the information. And then only you will come to know this document. Just for an example to few queries, like see, in this case, we have found that consideration amount is 56 lakhs. It is written as per the agreement. Builder box price. See, this is a new terminology, box price, Kalyan. Earlier time, this terminology was not there. Now this new terminology has come where all the cost has been packed up, including stamp duty, registration, and everything, and they say a box price, just to manage that LTV kind of thing. So you make a norm, they will find the way out. So there is nothing wrong because we are doing the business. Important is we should understand what is it. So the builder is quoting around 55 to 60. Broker confirmed it is illegal property. And when we found in reality that what is the actual transaction price, agreement to fine it is 56, you are quoting 6, then we come to know the maximum it is between 35 to 38 lakhs. So how it happened, why they are quoting 55 to 60, they are also smart. Just there is between one road. Left side is this Gauten area, right side is the proper approved area. So there the units are quoting 55 to 60. So they have quoted. So even if you compare with the Magic Brick, 99 acres, few brokers, those who are not very much particularly knowing about the area, they will say, 50 to 60 is the correct area. So you are fine. When there will be default, then only you will come to know the actually cost. What is the cost? So understanding of area is very, very important. And there will be gap of 20 to 30% in the value. Now this is another example where for related to rural finance. So I am trying to cover the different segment of property. So this is for rural finance. Now see, someone has asked whether we can fund to such property or not. We can fund. See, when we are going for rural finance, why not? We should fund. It is giving a shelter to a family. It is a house. We can fund. Only thing is how we are managing our cost of fund. That is important. Secondly, how we are evaluating the value, that is important. So we can fund, how much we can fund, at what rate of interest we can fund, that we have to decide. Funding is no harm in funding such property, it will come under secured property only. Okay. Now, but while funding or while estimating the value of such property, what are the challenges which we are facing? That is important. See, this is a property, you can see, you can visualize. Fine, it is a load-bearing brickwork, and then it is a clay hardment shape of roof. So it's a clay tiles, right? So location is there. There are few flats you can see near few other houses you can see nearby. So it is not completely aloof. There are the habitation, right? So they have made also fairly decent house. They have the entry, then there is a bedroom, there is a kitchen area. So nicely small rural house, a good house. The problem is we have got few documents, that is assessment aid, which I said you, Namuna Art, which gives the built up area. They have also given the property tax receipt where they are paying the tax. They have also given the boundary declaration, which I said you, the Chatur Sima name is not the layout, the Chatur Sima they have given the electricity bill. They have given the self declaration, they are staying here, right? So fairly we got a very good document in this case. Despite of that, you will face the challenges in evaluating the value. This is just for your awareness that look how the Namuna Art looks like. It is written that in which year it has been assessed, right? So construction year, what is the built up area, everything is written on this Namuna. This gives a fairly good information about any rural house. Then they give Chatur Sima also. In Chatur Sima, I think this another property has written Chatur Sima. Let's look in the west, it is Rasta of Mohan Pandurang, then Dakshin Iska hai, Uttara hai. So they have given east, west, north, south, right? Then they have given the tax receipt also. Then they have given you the resident proof also. So they have given almost all the documents which may require in the rural finance. The problem is we have not got the 712 extract to know the exact plot area. Okay. So when you go back and see, here there is no boundary. So how much plot you will take? What is the plot size? So fourthly, you will take only the plot size of the building boundaries, only the floor plate. There is no other area you can take, right? So you have to take the floor plate. The gap is whenever the person will come, he say, no, my plot is much more bigger than what is given, but there is no supporting documents. So when I said how much you have to fund, that is your problem and that is the challenge how to handle it. So you have to be very, very clear that unless we'll get some document of the land area, we cannot make our own assessment that there is a 5 feet setback available or 10 feet setback available. Because normally what they do, they will say the land till the next house is mine. And when he will take loan, he will say that land till next house is mine. So there is always a gap, right? So only thing is we have to be careful while evaluating the value so that we should not get trapped on overvaluation of cases, because in such cases, chances of default is very less because they are the genuine buyer, they are staying there, and they have always a stigma of default because in the village area, they do not want to default. But if they default, you cannot able to sell it. So that is also a fact. So we have to be cautious and careful. Right? So based on our all the observations, I have just summarized, so just you can go through it. What are the basic important points which we have observed and what precaution we can take? We need to understand the Gauten area, municipal area, which I have said, right? We should take a picture properly so that when we are in office, we can take the aerial view also from the Google Maps so that we can understand the property. We compare with the property in the vicinity, boundary wall, access road, always in affordable. I have seen the electric meter helps a lot. So whenever you are getting the opportunity that property is occupied, people are there, please note down the electricity meter. That helps in the identification of the property later on, right? Try to make some inquiry in the nearby or in the some distance of the house to understand about the area, not about the spying of the person, but to understand about the area. Right? So these all factors, if you take the proper precautions, you will able to assess the property properly and you can able to take the right call. And then there are few questions came that we are funding in green zone, someone is funding to illegal colonies, someone is funding to without approval. So this picture is the answer to that particular question, that traffic police never stop you to cross the red light. They will always catch you when you will cross the red light, right? So whatever you are doing, you can do, you are free to do. So when they will catch you, you need to be cautious, right? So always, especially there is a history in India, they never stop you to do anything. But later on, they will ask you a question and they will ask you a question so hard, then you will not find any answer. See, no one has said you to fund an illegal property. No one. If someone is saying that I have a policy to fund illegal property, please read it again. They have not said to fund the illegal property. What they are saying, that suppose there is a building, there is no approval, you fund till you can recover from the land. You don't go for apartments, you go for independent houses where the approval is not there, at least you have something of land. And in such locality, the land value is sufficient to cover. So your LTV ratio should sufficient to cover your loan. Please go judiciously, don't just go and trap. That's my suggestion, my humble suggestion. So there are market pressure, I can understand. So many things we have to do. Numbers or targets are given without many rationalizations. So people are in pressure. But this image, I can suggest, give you all your answers. Right? One RBI guideline I just like to highlight. They have written many times in their article. You can share this RBI guideline also. I have written the date. You can find on Google. Everywhere it is written in their RBI guidelines that you take a confirmation indemnity from the customer that they will make construction as per the approved plan only. They will not make any illegal constructions. And why these documents are very, very important is, in case of default and issue and demolition, they will not pay your EMI and they will blame you. that it was a duty of the bank to check whether the property is legal or not. Right? So take this indemnity always to safeguard yourself. Go through this circular, this is important, and this has been incorporated after the Delhi High Court judgment on authorized construction. So it has been incorporated. Many times it has been written, even in their circular, it is written that they insist for completion certificate, occupancy certificate, whatever applicable in that particular jurisdiction. So there are different documents required. So my summation is, we have to be cautious. On the name of affordable housing, we cannot go for promoting illegal construction, right? So, but with this all thing, we have a good news as well. The good news is, in the case of Indian Bank, the Supreme Court has given judgment that in case of SARFAESI, it is not mandatory that we have to prove that the land is not an agriculture land. If even the agriculture land is mortgaged to us and there are house, or it has been mortgaged stating that there is no cultivation, it is not a non-agriculture purpose, it is not the banker's responsibility to prove that it is any land. So that is a good, relief to all the NBFC, HFCs, and especially the affordable housing segment financer, that this judgment has come to our favor. Right? So now I think we can go to some small discussion. It is 12:35, so we have around 20 minutes.
Sure. Thank you, Raja. I think we have quite a few, quite enthusiastic people are there. So what I will do is that typically I'll pick up a few questions. Probably you can also see that. There's one which is, some questions that come up which is very specific to a city. I would only recommend the gentleman, the participant, saying that it will be very difficult for Raja to specifically say about a specific city, because one needs to really understand what has happened. So this is one question which has come up, saying that Pune Satin Navika's property and Mada property is permitted to fund loans or not. So I'm not very sure whether Raja would be in a position to pick it up these questions immediately.
Yeah, that is very location specific. They can put a mail to me. I will check from my Pune team and then I can revert. That helps we can do.
Yeah. So this one-off Raja can do it, but probably he cannot be troubled for that, provided he is a part of your empaneled, valuers. It will be difficult for him to do beyond one or two such, situations. There's one good question come from Nimesh that has come up. Nimesh is a very old mortgage professional, very senior professional. He's talking about one question: how can we make use of analytics and digitization in technical valuation journey? Would you like to take it up? I think
it is possible. If you go to my website, Creative Valuation Engineers, we have developed automatic valuation model, and that is free of cost available. You can put a value of details of the property and get the property value. See how it is. Digitalization is possible because of this. So many artificial intelligence. So depend that how much data you have and how relevant data you have. The problem is nowadays even the many valuers, we are just working on Excel and Word. Unless until we develop some tools and develop our own data analytics methodology, we will not able to do it. And many good valuers are doing it. It is possible, but the thing is, Dinesh, we have to keep our data updated. So whatever artificial intelligence we will put, unless until we keep our data periodically updated, it is not possible. And those who are active in the market, they are doing it, and it is possible. And there are some disruptions, thought process also. But I am telling you, digitalization of valuation will only for checking the post disbursement, that is portfolio checking. For lending, it is not possible because here is the accountability with the regulators. The guideline is very, very clear. So we have to provide a accountable assessment report. Digitalization does not have that kind of accountability that can facilitate you, that can help you to assess rightly, but that cannot replace the valuation given by the individual professionals.
So how do, one very interesting come from Chiranjeevi talks about how to do a actual construction cost with the interior design in building. Probably he's talking about how do I come to a construction cost with the interior design of the building, and is it a good one to do it?
Actually, many times now we get confused with the mortgage value and with the value cost actually incurred. See, when from the banker perspective, when we are saying we are trying to find the mortgage value. See, when we are going to find the mortgage value now, we cannot take the in totality the interior work they have done, because see, it is very person specific. Like the interior which we have done in my flat, you might not like it. So when we are going for the valuation, we have to discount that factor. So you always go with the standard thumb rule and don't get biased with the what actual interior has been done. So unless until you can give a weightage or a premium of 10 to 15%, but not more than that. Because if someone has taken a very premium architect or interior designer, their fees is in crores, we cannot add on that. Because see, the another person who will buy, because see, when the valuation will be used, in the case of default, right? So we need to think of that in case of default, that particular thought process won't match, because that will become a negativity, because of that interior only the property got in default. So we have to be very, very cautious. We will give definitely some premium, but certain extent, not more than 10 to 50% from the standard rate of that particular unit where the a good quality of interior would have been done.
That's great. I think that was an excellent, differentiation between the cost of construction and the market value. I think this is one discussion. I think all of them needs to have that clarity. Thank you, Raja. There's one good question Rashmita has asked. What are the main things we can consider to fund the customer? Rashmita, I think Raja, more than technical, he spoke about the credit first, and 5C is all about credit. Would you like to take up, or you want to add something more, Raja?
I could not able to understand the question, Kalyan.
What are the main things we can consider to fund the customer?
So definitely.
Probably she looking is at 5C model.
Yes,
would like to pick it up.
Definitely that 5, if you cover that 5C, everything is covered. So you concentrate on 5Cs and based on your policy, risk appetite of the bank and your thought process. Because see, every bank and institution has their own segment of customer, their own focus area. So you have to go as per your focus area, follow the 5C based on that policies and take it ahead.
Great. Chiranjeevi has one gentleman who has picked up a lot of questions. I really appreciate his involvement. I think he needs to be my gold member of my VLearn club. Chiranjeevi, you talked about a question saying daily wage customer funding a loan with a monthly male salary of 19,000, female salary 17,000. I don't think Raja would be able to pick up this question because this is very, very, very specific to your internal policies of a company, whether you would like to pick up a daily wage worker or not. Is that okay, Raja? Is that okay with my statement?
Yes, perfectly. Because see, as I said you before his question, that every institution has their own focus area. Some institution is doing only to such unskilled worker and unstructured employee because they are charging 24% plus. So it completely depends on their own policy and risk appetite.
Okay. I think he also picked up one on collateral property market value fund, LTV 25 to 30 for a daily wage customer funding. So Chiranjeevi, I think don't mix up the credit and the the collateral and the and the customer's capacity. They are two different. So Raja is picking up funding LTV based on daily wage. He's comparing the LTV and FOIR. Would you like to differentiate, because you come with both the strength?
That's why Kalyan, we took the pool. What pool has given? The valuation was not responsible for maximum default. The maximum default was responsible because of capacity. C, third C. So the capacity is very, very important. If you are giving a loan to daily basis worker, even with the 20% LTV, fine, it looks good. If you go for the double whammy, that LTV FOIR combination, that is good. But see, the character, what about the character? The first C. The first C is their financial behavior. So you cannot dilute completely. But see, that segment is very, very important. And if 20 with the 20% LTV, definitely I will love to go with such kind of funding if our risk appetite is good and we got a good cost of fund and we have a policy in place for such particular segment. So less than 20% to can't imagine. So 20% with this daily wages worker, I think we can go ahead.
So there's one more from Poonam Mittal. She's our associate based in Punjab. So Poonam is asking, is it helping in valuation process, say the identification part in case of builder properties with RERA in place?
Yes, definitely. RERA will definitely it has made the change. See how RERA is. RERA is the self-declaration portal. RERA is not validating your document. In RERA, we can put anything which I can put there. Unless until some customer or some other person will make a complaint, right? So, but nowadays, RERA has started making audit in Mumbai at least, and they have started validating the things. So definitely RERA will make the change. And because of RERA, many things have been streamlined. Many things have streamlined.
Yeah, but I think Raja, one of the things is that in the affordable and rural markets, RERA may not come. That's where I think your technical person needs to be absolutely a James Bond to understand what's happening, right?
Yes, true. RERA is only for the builder cases, not for the self-development.
Yeah, okay. So Joseph is a good friend of us. He has already helped you by answering a lot of questions. So I thank Joseph. You also are a gold member of our We Learn Club. While you were doing, he was answering a lot of questions to people. Continue to keep coming on the platform. We like to have you also. Srijan, I think is a wonderful question. He's asked us, if land area as per Namuna 8 is only considered, doesn't the risk get negated?
That's why I explained also. So as per the Namuna 8, they are the built-up area is written. So many times built-up area is G+1 as well. So we have to concentrate only on the floor plate, not the built-up area. Only the ground floor plate we have to consider.
Yeah. Okay, I think, we'll take 3 more questions. If Drupad Yadav, any demolition Ulhasnagar and Bhiwandi, I think Raja has explained a lot of things, but probably, you cannot expect him to name specific buildings at this point of time on this platform. Am I right?
Yeah, I don't think I'm ready right now, but there are demolition in Ulhasnagar and as well as Bhiwandi, both the places.
Right. I'd like to thank Manikandan Singaram, who has also answered a lot of questions. And Joseph and Manikandan are our, gold members who have been answering a lot of questions. Thank you. We'll go to the one. So Nikhil has asked one question. Since in Gujarat, state government is increasing the development charges 20 times, will it have impact in the valuation of property since the property changes will also increase?
Actually, this was much awaited because they are doing it after 20 years and the government reduction was not changed. So because of this, the maximum transaction was happening in the black component and the registration was taking place with a very low value. In fact, this will help us lenders to have a more rational valuation and at least they have a proper justification, not proper then at least some rational justification for the current market value. See, valuation will not change because even we were giving loan based on the current market value itself, but there was no rational available. So at least with this increase of ready reckoning, we have some more rational, some logic.
So Raja, there is a question for the month-end, case probably that is stuck with somebody. So Abhijit is asking, can we go ahead without approval plan if building is more than 5 years old? Valuation amount basis only after the site visit. I'm sure he's from the sales background.
He can be from credit also. The building demolished, which picture I have given, that all were 5 years old itself. So I am telling you, the 5 years old good because in many banks they have made a policy. So if the people are staying there, you can go for low LTV. You can take a call, but definitely it is a risk. Risk cannot be nullified. It can be minimized, but it cannot be nullified.
Dilip is asking, how do we value in slum area surrounded by prime area which has its clear legal documents? That's a good question.
But I have given you the traffic police signal. You can fund anything which you wish. The problem is later on when the question will come, what you will suggest that we are funding a slum. the question is, that is become a unsecured loan kind of thing because you won't have the proper security. So that is a risk. So it depends on the risk parameter. If you're funding at 36%, why not? You can try.
So Kunal, has asked this question. In this segment, we'll have borrowers who are new to credit and struggle rather than just manage to arrange OCR. Such basis, how shall the capital and capacity part be looked upon in tandem? Please, if you can guide. How will it differ if it's a LAP rather than home loan? So Kunal has moved into LAP business. So
in LAP, the capital is not a problem because LAP you are anyway giving loan considering the value. So the capital picture will come only in the home loan where they have to give the initial margin contribution. So if he has already moved in LAP, then it is already in different segments. So you can take their own cost. And wherever the home loan is concerned, see, what I try to explain is market is there. Every type of segment is there. You have to define what kind of cost of fund and which segment you have to choose. All are good customers. It depends what we want to do. Right? So what cost permitting to us. So that is very important.
Okay. So this one is a knowledge part. Vivek Kumar is asking, is there any public index 2 records of MP Gujarat like it's available in Maharashtra? Would you like to take it up?
Index only the NHB has made some indexing. We have also made an indexing, but we have also made only for Mumbai. So for Indore, we have not yet made any index. So sometimes the night rank is CBR, but it is not for very small locations. They give for global kind of thing like index for India, metro cities, but not for small cities.
No, I think he's asking for index 2 records the way it is available. Our entire revenue records is available across.
Yes. In MP it is not like in Maharashtra. It is there in. I don't know why, but in Indore and Bhopal they are not allowing it online. So we have to go for fiscal only. We have to go to survey office, then only we get it.
Yeah. So Vivek, there is not there. So that's what I wanted to confirm. So I think this was a good information for others also. So this is one, 2 more last. Can we evaluate thermocol structure like RCC? Is there any difficulty comes if we value? If it's okay to value them, please tell me about the life of the structure. Any advantage or advantage? Thermocol. I have not understood this thermocol structure. Did you mean something else? Raja, am I missing something?
Able to understand what is the exact question he is trying to ask.
Thermocol structure, he says. Manikandan, would you like to unmute and ask? What do you mean by thermocol?
Actually, new kind of construction is coming with a new thought process. Thermocol structure, RC, there any difficulty can we evaluate? See, we can evaluate. I am telling you the new type of construction will come. Even the reinforcement has been getting replaced by some fiber. That proposal has come, it has given to Urban Ministry for approval. See, anything which is approved, we can fund. We should fund. Because even if the new technique has come, their stability must have been checked, otherwise there will be no approval. So if it is already approved by a report submitted by the structural team and the plan is approved, we can fund. And definitely if the cost is less, we will take the actual cost, what has actually occurred. So it can be funded, Kalyan. There is no harm. And when we are talking about affordable housing, definitely we have to come out from the old thought process that we have to fund only RCC. Then the cost will not come down and no one will get affordable house. So we can fund.
This is he's talking about prefabricated units. Is that why understanding prefabrication once it has come up, new technology has come up? Is that?
Yes, that is also coming up.
Okay.
This thermocol structure basically. They mean to say the same thing, but with the some different technique.
Okay. So, so Jagdish is asking, when document area is less than built-up area, BUA is more, building encroachment is there, then how to value?
Basically, what is my submission is, we should restrict ourselves to the documented area to take care of our interest. That is the interest of the lender, right? So if we'll go for the extra area which is not documented, so that is definitely a problem in the case of recovery. But definitely it is not a straight answer because we need to understand the property. If the property is like the extra area is definitely in the possession itself, it is completely they're in their position and in their rights, then we can give the premium. So not consider that area, but you can give the premium of that area. How much? It depends on the structure.
Right. Kunal wants to come back. Kunal, Kunal is known. Kunal, would you like to unmute and speak if it's okay with you? Specifically, very quickly, if you can unmute and speak, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Sir, so my question was basically, obviously, capital contribution would not be there in LAP as compared to home loan. But since the borrower doesn't have any repaying history in terms of bureau records or anything, it would be completely judgmental assessment on the part of the credit assessor to assess borrower on his repaying capacity. But if we look at the affordable segment for HL and LAP, if you are funding him on an HL, it somewhere gets restricted based on the documentation value. But when you fund him for a LAP loan, it is primarily on a market value which is predominantly high, and the value risk increases. So how do you make a balance is what I wanted to understand, because valuation would be completely different for a home loan as compared to a LAP.
Not exactly, Kunal, that valuation will be completely different for home loan and LAP. It may be 10-15% different because of the additional cost value you're taking in home loan. Prima facie, you will see the value will be almost same. Regarding that, first time customer is, look, when we are trying to penetrate market, increase our mortgage to GDP ratio, definitely we will cater a new customer. Those who do not have the history or the CIBIL record. The question is, when you will cover the 5C, you will get another mitigant. Suppose one customer is weak on one part, then definitely he has to be strong in another part. Like what has been assessed, that you can go to a low LTV. Suppose for a standard customer, those are having a good CIBIL score, suppose 700 kind of CIBIL score, then definitely you can go for the maximum LTV possible. But if it is score is 600, then definitely you will not go for more than 50%. So you can balance the double whammy, that LTV plus FOIR combination, and accordingly you take it forward. It is very case specific, Kunal, and you have to go as per your personal assessment of 5C.
I think we'll stop over here, Raja. And before everybody leaves, I really want to thank Raja for the wonderful session and very practical. As Raja always says that I'm an execution guy, and since I'm an execution guy, I understand from the grassroots level, from the field level, as how valuation is done. I think you covered very well in terms of how affordable housing gets defined and how the assessment and the recovery gets into a problem. The concept of 5C, the way you explained, was very interesting to us, and the information about understanding of the location, lack of market information, and even you covered the national disaster management issues and where the no data is available and how affordable housing can be quite tricky. That was very interesting, Raja. And one of the very important models that I picked up from today from you is IUAE, identification, understanding, approval, and estimation. I think this is a wonderful formula. This I'm going to pick up from you and implement that in all the classrooms. The relationship between legal and technical was so amazing that I wanted to literally dance during the discussion that you're saying, that how legal impacts the valuation. So well explained. Thank you for that wonderful way to look at it. They are not different; they are the same. And while you picked up APF as one of the critical areas where people can make a mistake and how herd mentality comes up, I'm really very much appreciative of the amount of effort that you have done to build this session. Thank you very much. Thank you to every one of you who have attended.